Hi guys, it's ArchieLuxury here. Today I got a special guest. I got Machine Gun Chris. Machine Gun Chris, famous for his time at Luxury Bazaar. I'm interviewing him today. I'm asking him what watches did he fall in love with after working at Luxury Bazaar in America. This is going to be an interesting show. I'm just going to run the intro, then we'll come back and talk to Machine Gun Chris. Hi guys, today I've got Machine Gun Chris, famous for his time at Luxury Bazaar. Chris worked for Luxury Bazaar for going on almost 2 years, and I'm keen to catch up. He recently left the watch industry. He's training for a different career, and I wanted to talk to him about watches, and specifically, what watches did he fall in love with after working for a big dealer like that? Tell me, Chris, what watches did you fall in love with there? And did you have did it change your views before you went to work for Luxury Bazaar? Did you have certain watches you loved? Tell me your story there.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely changed my point of view on watches, getting to handle watches that basically back home, when I say home, South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, they only have a few dealers, and obviously the Rolex dealer never had anything in stock, so I wasn't ever really able to see much. But coming up here to Philadelphia and then working for Luxury Bazaar, then I got to handle watches I would never otherwise probably seen in public or in person. Ran Rolex Submariner here, there, whatever, on a person. But that is one watch I've always wanted, is a sub-no date, which I do want to get, and the Vacheron 4500B, as we mentioned before. But one watch that will actually surprise you that I fell in love with is the Richard Mille. Now, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know that if I had, unless I had like lottery money, I don't think I
Yeah.
would buy a RM, but it's like one of those watches a lot of people like to hate. And I feel like they like to hate just because they can't afford it. But when you go on and you get to handle them every day, you get to appreciate the craftsmanship, the quality that actually goes into them. So that's one watch that actually kind of surprised me, because I had this kind of
What's your favorite Richard Mille model there? I'll just bring up some on the screen here. What's your favorite model?
I like the McLaren, the RM McLaren.
Ah, the McLaren.
Hmm.
Wow.
The orange
Wow.
one.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. The orange. Yeah. Yeah.
and the
What
orange.
do these sell for, if you don't mind me asking?
Last I saw, I think they were right around 300 to 400, somewhere around that range. I don't quote me on that, but I believe they were around that
Yeah.
range. And it's just a killer watch for what it is. Like I said, a lot of people don't like it, but I think it's
Yeah.
just because they haven't really had their hands on one. And that was like one
Yes.
of the my preconceived notions before starting there about
Yes.
RM. Like I've always been in the affordable watches, just like the Seiko Almera and stuff like that. I'm like,
Yes.
why I don't get why people love RM so much, but then the more you handle them, the more you get why.
Yes. You got it. You got it. You understood what it was about.
Hmm.
So tell me this. Um, how many RMs did you handle whilst you worked there?
And my last count, to be honest, like I was lucky when I was there. I mean, we got basically I was like a kid at a candy store, go down to the vault, and we could kind of pick and choose whatever watches we wanted, post for the day or whatever. So it was definitely a
Yes.
cool experience for sure.
Yes. So, what other watches did you fall in love with from working there?
The Rolex Skydweller, actually, believe it or not, I really like, which I believe you have one,
Ah,
correct?
Yes, yes, I did have a Skydweller. Unfortunately, it was stolen in
Right.
a burglary, but better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. I
Mm.
had the white dial on the Oyster. But, what's your favorite combination?
I hate
Two-tone,
to be.
steel, solid gold?
I would do steel, and I hate to be. I know it's a popular one, but I do like blue.
Yeah,
But I
actually,
do kind of
I
like that
must
on
admit
oyster
the blue is absolutely you do it on Oyster as well. You like the
yeah,
Oyster version.
over the
Yeah.
Jubilee on that model. Yes, on the Jubilee over
Yes.
oyster over
Yes.
Jubilee.
I must admit
Um,
that new peacocky blue, in the solid gold is
mhm.
amazing. That's also a great combination. Um, it's funny. I actually went to work for a watch dealer early 2000s for a couple of years.
Okay. I didn't know that.
And yeah, yeah, I went to Thailand. It was a guy who was reselling. This was when eBay was really booming, and also a lot of stuff on the forums we would sell. It's amazing. A watch that I really loved. I never liked the GMT. I liked the Explorer. That was always my pick. But he
Yeah.
gave me a GMT Master, just the Master one. It was a Coke, the black and the red, and I wore it for a couple of weeks, and I thought this watch is amazing.
The
It just
Magnum PI was right.
exactly. It was a fantastic watch. Um, the there's many watches that you kind of have a predisposed idea to,
Hmm.
and I got to tell you, you were saying in a previous video we did there, you really liked the bluesy. The bluesy was a great,
Mm.
whereas beforehand you wouldn't have even thought you would go
Yeah,
two tone, and
exactly.
that's that's a huge thing. So tell me this: if you could pick, what were the five watches that you loved that when you worked at Luxury Bazaar? So a Richard Mill,
Yeah, the McLaren. I still love the Vacheron. That's still all time favorite.
the
Girl
4500.
watch the 4500 be the blue dial.
Yeah,
Now a lot of people don't like the black dial on that, but I do like the black dial. It's a little more stealthy look, I guess you could say, than the blue dial. The 4500B and the Richard Mille is probably the most flashy one I would pick. I do like the
hmm,
root beer, the two tone
yep,
root beer. I do love that watch. Actually, do believe it or not, I do like that in the actual the gold, all gold one too. That those are pretty cool. Um,
yes,
I'm trying to think. 5167R. I mean, that's another one. Like you can't really go wrong with that
yeah.
one.
The Aquanaut rose gold,
Hmm.
beautiful piece, beautiful
It's kind of
piece.
like an understated kind of classy as well.
Yes,
Um, I'm trying to think of the fifth one. I would probably go. Honestly, I've always liked the sub. I hate to be basic, but I like the sub no date.
I couldn't agree with you more. Would you go ceramic or pre-ceramic?
Ceramic is the one I go. I like the
Ceramic.
41. I have a big wrist, so the 41 fits my
Yeah,
wrist perfect.
that's a great watch. The interesting thing is the fashion has changed. I remember 20 years ago, people loved the date. They sort
Hmm.
of looked down on the no date. Now people love it because the symmetry, it makes the dial cleaner. And the no date is really popular. Well, the date's also popular. Let's not go crazy. But it's that's an interesting selection. Now, before you worked there, what was your dream? What was your kind of what were you mainly? You said Submariner before. You loved the
Hmm.
sub,
The
but
sub no
you
date.
had, I suppose, the Richard Mill. I've actually handled an RM11. That's the
Hmm.
annual calendar chronograph,
Hmm.
and that they are amazingly constructed. They're really to handle a Richard Mill. They're kind of they're like a super elite. Like it's only watch
Yeah,
people would know what they are, and
it's like a supercar on the wrist, basically.
exactly, exactly. Tell me this: if you were to pick a one and done for yourself, what watch do you think it is?
Being a watch YouTuber, I don't know that I could honestly go with only one watch. But if I had to choose, it would
Mm-hmm.
either be the Sub No Date, just because it's so practical, you can wear it so many different situations,
Yeah.
or probably the Vacheron, the 4500V. But more than likely, it would probably be the Sub No Date, just because of the versatility of the watch.
Yes. Yeah. I tend to agree with you because the big problem with the Vacheron, if it was a one and done, I don't know if it's as usable. Like it's not as heavy
As
duty
wearable,
as the
yeah.
Rolex. You know what I mean? Like it is still even though it's their sports range, it's still a delicate sort of watch.
Yeah.
How about AP? Are you a huge AP fan? You haven't mentioned AP
I
there.
do like AP a lot. I mean, I probably would do the what is the 39, the 50, is it the 15400 is the 39 mil, I feel like? Or is it
The
15500?
AP, the 30, 15300, 15 300 's the
15300, yeah. Yeah, the 15300, because I feel like even though I have a bigger wrist, like the 39
mm,
millimeter one just sits a little bit better on the wrist than the 41s do on the 15500.
yeah, yeah. No, AP, they're a I kind of I think they're a bit delicate. You know, I had a friend of
Hmm.
mine who actually had a 15300 and he said it's even putting his hand in his pocket, he could scratch because they're sort of he said it's not like Rolex steel, they're very delicate. You've got to be careful with them.
Actually, you
And
just reminded me. One of the watches I actually would pick too. I didn't even think about that. Is the AP
yeah,
Volcano, the orange. I I'm a here we had American football, NFL,
yes,
college football was really big back home, and back home you're either a South Carolina fan or a Clemson fan.
yeah,
Clemson is orange and purple are their colors, so orange is one of my favorite colors as well as the Browns. So I would definitely go with the Volcano, which is why I like the RM McLaren as well. So I didn't think about that
yes,
one.
yes. No, that's tell me this. When do you think you would like to get so basically as an everyday watch, probably you said the sub
Hmm.
no date. And that's a watch you could buy and just keep for the rest of your life, really.
Hmm.
I actually I had the sub no date. Unfortunately, that was stolen in I had a sub date,
Hmm.
and when I was replacing my collection there, I actually went for the bluesy because I thought, you know what, it's got a little bit of bling in it. I wanted something as a bit of a pick me up, and that's kind of my. I don't think I'd ever sell that. That's just such a. When do you want to get yourself a sub no date yourself? What do you? What's your
Um,
plan there?
Probably in the next couple of years, I would say.
Yes.
I have a big birthday coming up, but I don't think I'll be getting it by then.
Yeah.
So I'm saying probably give me about another year or two, and I'll probably pull the trigger on this sub no date, because those are
Yes.
basically you can get them in secondary market basically like a little bit above retail minus plus or minus taxes.
Yeah. Yeah. That they're a great watch. Would you try and get it from an AD or you'd get it on the grey market?
I try to get it from AD, but as we know, the lists are crazy long. So I'll probably go gray market in that instance, because there's certain watches that you might be, I hate to say better off, but to go out on gray market, because you can get them,
Yeah.
like I said, plus or minus a few dollars here or there tax wise, what you would pay in
Yeah.
taxes at the AD.
Yeah. Yeah. No. 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 Fair enough. There.
Mm-hmm.
It's I gotta say it's fascinating when you work for a dealer. You get to see things you'd never
Mm-hmm.
be exposed to normally. And when I was working for the dealer, he was in love with those Royal Oak offshores. They were very hot.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like them because they had the rubberized pushers. That was very
Mm-hmm.
cool. And I thought, oh, that's going to go bad. You know, you can just tell it's going to go cruddy after. And they kind of have gone a bit cruddy, but it's it's funny the different fads there. I think a lot of those oversized APs, that market has gone to Richard Mill. I think
Mm-hmm.
the people who wanted a big sort of watch, that market, I think, has gone to Richard Mill. But I must say, myself looking at watches, like I don't really dream of a a John Mayer. I don't
Mm-hmm.
dream for me, I love steel or two-tone. You know, I love steel because you can just wear it anywhere. You know, the dream watch for me would be different to somebody who's, you know, super rich person. You know, they want a Richard Mill or they want a this or they want a that. But for me, I always want things. I want something that's usable. I want to have usable sort of watches.
Mm-hmm.
And in my own case, I bought a few after the robbery. I had a little bit of money from insurance and a little bit of crowdfunding, and I got a few watches, but I've actually cut the collection a bit because I had two-tones, and I thought, you know what? I only really need one two-tone. One two-tone is enough. And I had a Speedy, and I had, you know, how many chrono, you know, I kind of, as I'm getting older, instead of having so much stuff, I'm kind of thinking, you know what? I want to concentrate on fewer things. But with yourself there, you've got a good contingent of more affordable watches.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see yourself ever getting out of that, or you'd like to keep some of more affordable?
I feel like for both. Like I enjoy both. Like I enjoy the Seiko. This is like a $800 Captain Willard. I enjoy this just as much as I would a Submariner. And this $800 Seiko, I can walk around. Which my neighborhood's not a bad neighborhood. I'm in a decent neighborhood in Philadelphia, but you know how most of the big
Yeah.
cities are. I can walk around in my neighborhood and not have to worry about getting robbed for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a big plus there. It's unfortunately watch crime, especially like the UK, and that's gone out of control. It's terrible. It's
Mm-hmm.
very difficult there. But tell me this, what's the biggest surprise from working in that industry for a while? What's the if you won the lotto, I suppose you said it is Richard Mill for you? Is that what you'd buy? What's the super
Probably,
grail?
yeah, the McLaren RM, or my grail has always been the 4500V. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not a really
Yeah.
classy guy. Probably, like I said, the obviously the Volcano AP is a
Oh,
little
that's a
classy, but
classy watch. There's
just
nothing wrong
because of
with
the,
that.
yeah,
4500 is a beautiful watch. Beautiful.
and you can wear it with so many different situations too. So
Machine Gun Chris, I want to thank you for coming on the stream today. Thank you so much.
thanks for having
And
me, Arch.
it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm just going to run an advert and then I'll come back to you. Just hang on there. I'll just got to find it. Where did I put my advert? Sorry, just hang on there, guys. Hang on. Here we go. Hi, guys. It's ArchieLuxury. Guys, I want to talk to you about David SW. David SW. Guys, if you are in America, if you are looking for a Rolex watch of your dreams, in fact, if you're looking for a contemporary modern wristwatch, I strongly advise you to look at David SW. Guys, don't play the dealer games. Don't bring in chocolates or Krispy Kremes for your dealer hoping to get a Rolex at retail. It's futile. Please, guys, save your dignity. Keep some pride. Go to David SW. I would highly recommend